Hello everyone, welcome to this session. In this session, I'm going to be talking about delete events that we have in Apex triggers. Okay, so we'll start off the session by understanding what are before delete triggers in Salesforce, and then we'll talk about a scenario and we'll go ahead and implement that scenario. Okay. And moving on, we'll talk about after delete trigger events that we have. And then again, we'll take a scenario and go ahead and implement that. And then at last, we'll talk about after undelete event that we have in Apex triggers. Okay. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing is before delete trigger events. Okay. So let's say if there is any custom action or any task that you want to perform before a record is deleted from the Salesforce, then that particular logic you can include under before delete event trigger. Okay. So for example, here I have a scenario wherein I want to prevent the account deletion if the account is active. So let's say if somebody goes into Salesforce and if they try to delete an account, but if the account is active, then I want to give an error message, which will basically pop up on the screen telling the user that you cannot delete this account because this account is active. Okay. So let's just move to developer console and execute this scenario. So here is my developer console, and this is the trigger that we created on account earlier. So first of all, I'll just go ahead and include the event that I want to implement my logic for. So that is before delete, right? And then what I'll do, I'll just create another block here. Okay, so here, and it should be is delete, and I already have is before. So before delete, this particular method will be called in before delete. Okay. And I will remove this part because I'm not implementing after delete right now. So before delete. Okay. And then let's just create a method, restrict active account deletion. Okay. And here in before delete, you will not get the trigger.new, you will get trigger.old or trigger.old map. So I am taking trigger.old as I only need the list of S object records right here. So I won't be able to save it because I haven't defined this function yet. So let's just go here and define this function. Okay. Public void. And trigger.old will give me list of accounts. Okay, and let me save this, and let's just go back to the trigger and save it so that I'll be able to save the trigger. Okay, now I should be able to save the trigger as well because I have defined the function now. Okay, so now here what I have to do, I have to iterate the list. Okay, list of S object records. And I just have to check if the account which anybody would be trying to delete, if that is active or not. Okay. And on my account object, I have this field active, which is basically not a Boolean, but it's a pick list value, but I have these two values inside it, yes or no. So yes means it is active and no means it is inactive. Okay. So I'll just check if the active field is marked as yes, that means the account is active and user should not be able to delete it. Okay. So what will I do? If acc dot active is equals to true, sorry, yes, because it's a pick list, right? If it is yes, then I want to give an error on the account, right? That you cannot add delete it. So add error, you cannot delete an active account. Okay, and that should be it. So yes, now let's just go ahead and try if this is working or not. Okay, so I'll move to account. And let's just go to a random account and try to delete it. So let's say this is my account and I will try to, so first of all, I have to check the active field, right? If it is marked that as yes, then only it will fire the trigger. So let me mark it as yes first. Okay, and then let me save it. Okay, so my active is marked as yes. Now that means account is active. Now if I try to delete the account, then I should get the error that I have put in my before delete trigger. Okay, so delete. So here's the error. You cannot delete an active account, right? So this is how you can implement before delete trigger, because basically it is used in order to, like, prevent any kind of deletion based on any condition. If you have any prerequisites before deleting a record, database record, then you can use before delete trigger and you can put all the conditions. Basically you can check all the conditions and then you can prevent the deletion. Okay, now let's just go back to the presentation and see what we have next. So next we have after delete triggers. So this particular event will be, like, running after the data is deleted from the database. Okay, so let's say if there are any operations such as deleting related records, right? For example, let's say the scenario which I have listed here, that is, like, when you're deleting an account, then delete the associated opportunity records. So when, if you see this scenario, then when do you want to delete the associated opportunity? When the account is deleted. That means after the account is deleted, what you want to do is you want to delete all the associated opportunities which were there on that particular account, right? So that is why this particular scenario will come under after delete. Okay, so let's just go ahead and implement this. So I'll go ahead and include the event. And then I'll include another condition over here. And here, delete related ops. Okay, and let me save this. So this will run on in is after delete. Okay, let me see. Okay, this is not defined yet. So, and here I'll rather take old map. Okay, because I would want to fetch all the related opportunities from the account ID, right? So okay, again, let's just go and define this. Okay, so and here I'll be getting list of ID and account, ID and account. Sorry, this is gonna be map, right? Map. And here you can do it as map, ID, account. Okay, and then here what I have to do is I have to query all the associated opportunities which is there, like, associated to the account which I'm deleting, right? So what I can do is I can first, let's just, okay, let's not define the list for now. So I have to query the opportunity, right? So, and I would want to iterate on that opportunity list. So rather than writing the query separately and then looping over it, I'm just directly including it over here. Okay, so opportunity. And then here, let me write the query. So select ID, or which is this much, from opportunity, and where account ID in, because I want to fetch the opportunities which is matching with the account ID, right? So account ID in, so this maps key set, right? Because that is what we have for the account IDs, correct? So dot key set. Okay, and then what I want to do is I want to delete all these opportunities, right? So first let me create a list of opportunity. Ops to be deleted. And then I will just add the opportunities to this list. And then I will simply go ahead and delete it. And that should be it. Okay, let's just go ahead and see if it's working or not. So for example, I have one opportunity on this account, and let me first make it as inactive so that I'll be able to delete the account. Okay, so I'll delete this account and the related opportunity should get deleted. So let me open this here. Okay. This is the opportunity. Let me go ahead and delete the account. So delete. This account is deleted. Now, if I go and refresh over here, I should not get that opportunity, ACC2, right? Because that particular opportunity got deleted. Okay. So this is how you can implement after delete logic. Okay. So if there is anything, any task that you want to perform, basically like, the related, unrelated child after delete of the main record, then you can use after delete event. Okay. Now let's just go back and see what we have in after undelete. So your after undelete event works only with the recovered records, right? So let's say if there's a record in your Salesforce and you deleted that record and now you have restored that record, right? So your after undelete event will help you to update that record. Let's say if you want to make any update on the restored record, then you can use after undelete event. Okay. So for example, in this scenario, let's say what I would do is I would go ahead and delete an account. And when I'll try to restore that account, that means that account will come back to the database, right? That will be inserted into the database again. And when that record is restored, I want that account to be marked as active. Okay. So let's just go ahead and see how this can be implemented. So I'll go back to my developer console. Okay. Okay. So before we start, whenever you are performing any DML, right, you should always check if the list is empty or not. Here we had not put it, right? So let me just put it. Otherwise, you will be, if there is no associated opportunity, right? In this case, you would be firing your DML operation for no reason, right? So, okay. Now, let me just first show you that. Let me go to recycle bin. In the previous example, right? When we deleted the account, we deleted the associated opportunities, right? So there would be something in the deleted records, the account that we deleted, right? This is the account that we had deleted. And if you remember, I had made this account as inactive, right? I had set the active field as no, right? That means this account was inactive when it got deleted. So what I want to do is I want that when I would be restoring this account, then I want this account to be updated as active, because if I will simply restore this account, then when I had deleted this account, this was inactive. So when I'll restore it, it will still be inactive, right? So what I want is that when I restore this account is should be set as active. Okay. So let me go to my trigger again, and let's include the event here after undelete. Okay. Undelete. And here, undelete, and there is nothing in before undelete. Okay, because you will not get the record instance. Okay, so we only have after undelete. So I have it here as after undelete, and let me put a function as restore, update restored account. Okay, so I will update restored account here. Okay, and here I will always get trigger.new. You will never get trigger.old in after undelete, because after undelete is basically would do nothing, but it is like an insert, right? It would be inserting the record back into the database, right? So you will always get the new instance of the record, right? So that is why we always get trigger.new over here. So let me go ahead and define this function. And here I will get list of account. Okay. And let me first save this so that I can save the trigger. 1 second. Okay, now I should be able to save it. Okay. So now what I want to do is when the record is restored, I want to set the account as active. So what will I do? I am gonna iterate over the account list. Okay, and this is my list of account. And then I want to set the active field as yes. Okay. That means I'm making the account as active. Okay. And then because I would have to write a update DML, right? So that is why I'll take it in a list. And then I will add ACC to it. And coming out of the for loop, I'll check if this is not empty. This list is, if it is not empty, then I will make an update call to the database. Okay. So this dot is empty. If it is not empty, I put a not check over here. Then update this. Sorry, this is the list. And that's it. That's it. Now let's just go back and see if it works or not. So this is my recycle bin and I will restore this account. Okay. And then we'll check when I restore this account, if the active field is marked as yes or not. Okay. So let me go here and restore. Okay. What is it? I believe there was some error on this. I could not see it. Let me try to capture it. So what it was. Record is read only. Okay. Line number 29. Okay, so here I am basically not able to, 1 second. I'm not able to update it, right? Because the record goes into the read only format. So what I can do is I can create an account instance basically. And so, okay, I can create an account instance and I can map the account to this instance, and then I can try to update this. Okay, so basically, let me ACC account. Okay, so this account, I will just map it to this. Okay, account dot id is equals to this account dot id. This dot active, and I will be adding this one over here and save it. Okay, because this particular account goes into the, after getting restored, it goes into the read only mode, right? We could not edit it, right? So that is why what I am doing is I'm creating another instance, and that I'm mapping this particular account details to that instance, and then I'm trying to update it. Okay, so let's just go ahead and try again. So restore, and it worked. So let's just go to accounts and check ACC2. So it came back. What we have to check is that we have to check if the active field is set to true or not, if it is set to yes or not. So yes, so this worked, right? So here we saw, right, that when you're restoring the record, after the record got restored, it went to read only mode. That is why we created another instance of account, and we basically mapped the previous instance to the new one so that we can make an update on it. Okay, so this is how you can work with delete events in Salesforce triggers. Okay, so in the next session we'll see that how we can improve, or make our trigger framework in a better way, how we can create a separate trigger handler class and trigger helper class. Right now we do have a trigger handler class, but we'll also see that how we can create a trigger helper class to make our framework look better and be more readable and efficient. Okay, so till then, stay tuned. Bye bye.